Hello everyone, and welcome back to Acupuncture's My Life. Now, I got an interesting topic of discussion today from a Jillian in Venice. And I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name correctly. But Jillian from Venice. So, I'm responding or covering a topic from someone from Italy. Cool. And this is great, guys, because this is why I say over and over, just go to the Google Play Store and download the app so you can get your topics to me, and we'll cover them. And I found this topic to be pretty interesting, and I looked deeper into it, both globally as well as, I'm based in New York City. We're based in New York City. But which this topic covers New York City, the major cities in the United States, and major areas throughout the globe. And that's homelessness. Yep. Because even as I peruse the 5 boroughs, my colleagues and myself, to see patients, homelessness is rampant. It's a problem. And Jillian, this is a great topic of discussion because she's noted that throughout Italy, there's a problem with homelessness. I know there's a problem with homelessness in Japan because a few of my colleagues had gotten back to me late last night as I've surveyed. I have a few colleagues even in Barcelona, Spain. There's problems with homelessness. I have a colleague in Colombia, South America. Forget it. I have several colleagues throughout Canada, and this is a huge problem. It's a huge problem. Now, to really delve in, and you can do your research on your own as well to see how serious this is. This pandemic has had such an effect on people's lives. And although I'm running a series on the effects of the pandemic and the psyche on the Acupuncture's My Life YouTube channel, I'm also gonna continue to cover it here as well, because this is a problem, and it's deep in a sense from a health perspective, because our organs in Chinese medicine have a spiritual aspect as well. And when the spiritual aspect of our yin organs are affected, it can be cause for disease as well. And a lot of people are unaware of that. You affect a person's shen, and disease can occur. And the shen is housed in the heart. Just like the liver has an ethereal soul, the lung has a corporeal soul, the spleen is governed by urine, and the kidneys chur. They each have their spiritual aspects. And when affected, disease occurs. If you look at the human organism as a whole, you can catch a virus or It could be bacterial infection. What happens? Your world is thrown off. You have to deal with that problem. Just take, for instance, this pandemic, this virus. Its capability of not just killing you, but compromising your physiological state of being. And think about the millions of long haulers globally that are still feeling the effects of their infection. Of the viral infection long after it's been resolved, or so-called been resolved. Now, even let's take, for instance, when you're infected, there's many that haven't been infected by this virus. You know, we look at the large number of infected people, but you have over 8-9 billion people on this planet. So when we're still speaking in terms of millions, still a lot left that haven't been infected. So let's just say you sustain some type of bacterial or viral infection. How does that affect your spirit? How does that affect your Shen? It gets thrown off. There's concern. There's worry. There's fear. There's anger. And then once the infection clears, there's joy. You know, so each organ represents an emotion as well. That's well aligned to its overall spiritual aspect. Because let's take, for instance, the liver. There's anger. The heart, there's joy. The spleen, there's pensiveness. The lung, there's sadness, worry, grief. The kidney, there's fear. See, you have your whole, and then you have the sub-aspects of your whole. We all have a spiritual side to us. What are the subcomponents? Which are comprised, broken down into each organ. And a lot of us are unaware of that. How does the effect of a subcomponent affect the whole? So let's take, for instance, when you look at this virus, long haulers, people that have so-called gotten over it, sustained long-term heart damage, brain damage, lung damage, liver, kidney damage, intestinal damage. And I've read cases where people are having a hard time digesting food now as a result of having been infected by this virus. Now, when it comes to Chinese medicine, the spleen has a lot to do with digestion. And it can sort of be seen as similar, its functions, as the pancreas, but it has a lot to do with digestion. So spiritually relative to that organ, how is pensiveness affected? How does that affect the whole? Whereas the heart, which represents the mind, the Shen governs all of the spiritual aspects relative to the other yin organs in the body. How does one subcomponent, how does one organ, let's say the liver, which can generate, if it's adversely affected as a result of this virus, can affect the mind, where the heart houses the mind, your Shen, and just throw you way out of whack. Now, I'm saying all of this to get to Jillian's point. Homelessness. It's part of a bigger picture as to why there is homelessness, as well as the effects of homelessness on the mind, directly, indirectly. Directly being that person that's actually homeless, to those that can sustain themselves but live around the person that's actually homeless. How does it affect them mentally as well? I mean, this is a serious issue, and I'm trying to dig deep in one area of many. But this is a serious issue here, because if one feels a high potential of homelessness, let's say during this pandemic they lost their job, they lost their business, they're about to lose their home. Fear, how does it affect the kidneys? Fear being the emotion tied to the kidneys, which can affect the lungs as well too, via worry. Chi transformation. Lung and kidney relationship is responsible for chi transformation. When that's affected, your energy is zapped. Your mental, everything scatters, just floats. It's the process of this chi transformation that gives you the mental energy required to think a process through, assess and fix your situation, because you need to have that ability. And if you can't, because of high levels of uncertainty, and then you just give up and just let it all go, and then boom, the time comes, you're put out of your home, your place of residence. You've just gone from bad to worse. How does that affect the individual directly, as well as the individual within the area of this homeless person who sees this? We haven't seen anything yet when it comes to homelessness globally. We're still in the first third of this book when it comes to the potential fallout from homelessness. Now, I touched on the spiritual aspects of the organs to lead to how it affects your Shen, your mind, which is housed by the heart. And when there are problems with Shen in Chinese medicine, as an acupuncturist, one of the channels we look to treat is the heart channel. And let's just say if there's a lot of anger, your shin is off because of anger, because of worry, because of pensiveness, because of fear. We look for those other organs as well to treat, to nurture, to balance out. Because a lot of times when we're composed, when we have our mental well aligned and well balanced, we feel as if nothing can stop us. We can fix whatever is broken. To come back or return to that whole, we can fix that. And that's super important. This is why acupuncture is great. It can help you in so many ways. Because you have to think in the future when we, let's just say, continuing the analogy, go into the second third of that book, and this pandemic is over and people are standing there, what do we do next? What about a year's worth of rent we didn't pay, or our homes are in forbearance, or whatever the case is? I don't have a job. Jobs aren't plentiful. I need work. I need health coverage. Those that still have a job, even to this day, and in my conversation with Jillian from Venice, we spoke about how many of the homeless globally have been vaccinated or, have been dealt with in a way that they can secure themselves from being infected with this virus. Are they themselves? And we're talking in the millions, if not low billions globally, that can be walking around transmitting this virus. And those that remain fortunate to still have a home, to still have some type of employment, them becoming concerned, worry is an emotion that's tied to the lungs that can present with symptoms such as shortness of breath and so forth and so on. But this is part of the fallout. The emotion that's tied to the lungs, which is worry, and we have a pandemic where there's this respiratory disease just floating around that first affects the lungs. The mental side to all of this is it's a huge problem. A lot of people run around, I want to build up immunity. Part of immunity has a lot to do with your mental. If you're balanced and well-grounded mentally, you can cure your own ailments mentally. This is part of psychoimmunology. You can cure your own ailments mentally without putting anything in your mouth. And so many people are unaware of that. This is why acupuncture is so awesome. Because you have those that seek out acupuncture to mentally ground themselves, to spiritually balance out the organs so that the energy, the chi, flows fluently. And there's no blockage or disturbances or stagnation in the chi pathways throughout the body or the mind, which plays a huge part in your health, because again, I'll say it again, health is wealth. That's where all the value is, in your health. Acupuncture. That's why acupuncture is my life. That's why acupuncture is a big part of so many people's lives globally. This is why I say over and over, follow Acupuncture is My Life on all social media platforms. And under Twitter, Acu_is_my_life. You have Tumblr, you have Pinterest, you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have LinkedIn. You have so much. To become well informed, YouTube as well, to become well informed as to what acupuncture is all about and how you can benefit. And you have no excuse, because if you have any questions, one of the main ways to contact Acupuncture is My Life is through the Acupuncture is My Life app, which is on the Google Play Store. No excuse. None. And so many people are falling in line, getting questions answered, thanking us here at Acupuncture is My Life. Globally. Recent thank you yesterday from a Charisse in Dubai. She sought out an acupuncturist alone because she can't come to New York City to get wellness treatments on a regular. I mean, it's high cost to do that. I'm sure there are people that can do it. There are some that fly in, and when they're in New York, they stop at one of our clinics. But she's found a local acupuncturist in Dubai, and she's happy she's done so, simply because she had questions. I mean, there's a subtle phobia out there, because people are looking at acupuncture like, oh my gosh, I don't want all these needles inside of me. You know, there are non-invasive aspects to Chinese medicine as well. I mean, you have moxibustion therapy, cupping therapy, you have tuina, you have tai chi, you have so many things, so many other modalities, and acupressure as well. Because those that have downloaded the app and they contact me or my colleagues here at Acupuncture is My Life via free telehealth because they have the app. I mean, we've reached out to people in Iran, the Philippines, South Africa, Netherlands, Barcelona, many areas in the Caribbean, Canada, Colombia, and Brazil, in South America, via telehealth, because these people have the app. But I'll go back to Jillian's topic and closing off is, homelessness is a problem. And I touched on the mental/spiritual side of it that most people don't think about, because that's a reality many do not think about. There's a mental/spiritual side, fallout to this reality called homelessness. You walk by and see someone tucked away in the corner in the street or somewhere, in an alley, under a bridge, living in a tent, a box. These are human beings who think, who have emotions just like you do. And unfortunately, some react in violent ways because they're upset. Imagine if they had access to acupuncture. The anger side. The anger negatively impacts the liver and the fallout effect through the generating cycle of the 5 elements. How can it affect the heart? The heart houses the mind, the shen, which governs all other emotions within the organs in the body. So if there's anger and the liver's affected, it's going to affect the heart. If there's fear due to uncertainty and the kidneys affected, it's going to affect the heart. It resonates in a person's shen. This is how you can look at people. This is how, when you look at a homeless person, most times they cannot look you in the eyes. They look down. They feel bad about themselves. Their shen is affected. You can see the mental, spiritual side is shot. So, with that being the case, their health. How has it negatively impacted their health? Because when the mental, spiritual side of a person is shot, your immune system, your immunity just falls off. You're highly susceptible. Not just COVID, but to so many things. How does this spread? Even if you're not homeless, but you're living around or amongst a lot of homeless people, how does that affect you? How does that affect your immunity? And there are certain acupuncture clinics that deal with homeless people, people that are on drugs and things like that, free, covered by various governments globally. See, these are things a lot of people are unaware of. I've traveled throughout the United States to do not a protocol for free on homeless people, drug addicts, and so forth. This is why I always say do your homework. There's so much resources out there to your avail, especially when it comes to acupuncture. And if you don't know, contact Acupuncture's My Life. And we'll look to steer you in the right direction. Download that app to get your questions answered, because you can even help a homeless person. And how might that affect you if you walk outside of your home and you see the same person or persons sitting there, lying there? It's just another day, and here we go again. And having the knowledge attained through Acupuncture's My Life to steer that person in the right direction. How can that change his or her life to positively affect your life? Homelessness is a huge problem globally. We haven't seen anything yet. But even in that area, if you want to be proactive, do your homework and find those acupuncture clinics that offer free acupuncture. Because if you stabilize someone's mind, you equip them with the ability to uplift themselves, to do what they have to do. And sometimes as human beings, we need that charge. We need that charge. And a lot of times just through the power of acupuncture. It can happen. Now, because I'm affiliated with 2 hospitals in China, although I reside in New York City, I know for sure that they offer free acupuncture. Acupuncture's My Life plans on setting up a clinic in South Africa, where part of the clinic will offer free acupuncture. I have colleagues in Barcelona, Spain, Toronto, Canada, Amsterdam, in Europe. Offers free acupuncture. See, COVID-19 halted a lot, but Acupuncture in My Life is also going to expand to South America, to Colombia, and offer free acupuncture. It's there, though. Governments sponsor this. Do your homework. Not only can you help yourself directly, you can also help yourself indirectly by helping or giving a homeless person guidance and steering them in the right area. Again, health is wealth. When you feel vibrant and good, you don't need a great deal of money in the bank to feel like you're floating on the clouds, because you're healthy. I know tons of rich people that are depressed and unhealthy. This is some serious shit. It's real. And have lost all their money. And they're poor and homeless now. There's so much to learn. This is why I say follow Acupuncture is My Life on every platform. Because these platforms carry different information that's there, that's set up to help you. That's why we're here. And this is why I say to so many, acupuncture is my life. What's yours?